Hello everybody, my name is Hope and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna present to you a game which I played against Ali Jaunooby, and it was the Manchester Summer Cup, and it was played in Denton on the 15th, 2011. And the game proceeded as on. Ali Jaunooby was playing white and I was playing black. So the game proceeded with D4, Knight F6, C4, G6. So as you can see, the game can turn into it can turn into Grunfeld attack, maybe King's Indian. Still open to a lot of variation. Maybe Bank or Gambit. So Ali went for G3, so it's turning into Catalan. Then I went for Bishop G7, Bishop G2. You can look at this position, it's still in the opening, we're still developing, so nothing special. But I decided to go for D6 instead of castle. I just played maybe D6 as a waiting move, just giving myself time really to see what is he up to. So he played Knight C3, then I castle, then E3, and I played E5. So E5, I'm challenging the center. Maybe another day. Take here if I can, but it's still opening really. So probably maybe I might look at maybe bringing this rook here and maybe getting this open file. So it would be nice if I can bring my rook to E8 and get maybe this file. But so this opening is really full of strategy, King's Indian. So he played Knight GE2, meaning normal developing move, then Knight C6. So Ali went for H3, so it's another clever move, which controls the key square. G4, so maybe I can develop my bishop there, pinning, then maybe bring this rook activity. So like, if the bishop is to go on G4, that means I would have complete development. So H3 it sounds like a good move. So I went for A6. A6 is idea. Maybe later on I can play B5, maybe bring this rook here, since it's a little bit hard to take this bishop anyway. This bishop on C8 can't really go nowhere. So maybe I have to look for other plans. So I played B3, and when I was looking at the position, I didn't know that it was theory B3. I was just thinking maybe he's got ideas of bringing bishop A3, maybe bishop B2. But like, both B3 has been played, so ideas of bringing my knight to A5, then maybe attacking this square later on, but it's well protected now, so I can't look forward to attack that C4 pawn. So after B3, then I opted for rook B8. I wasn't really sure about this move, what it was gonna bring, but I was hoping maybe I might bring the bishop on D7, maybe B5, and maybe open a file for my rook. As you can see, my whole strategy is centered on my two rooks. So like, the more I get them into play, maybe the more I get a better game. Maybe we might have bishop coming later on, but like, because it's a close position, it's a very close position. So like, the hardest piece which you can bring to activity is your rook. So rook B8, and Ali played D5. Now it's chasing the knight away. So I was thinking maybe I can go with the knight on A5, but like, it doesn't really have like a good retreating square, so knight a6 can be considered, because the knight can't come there, so probably the logical move is knight e7. So Ali proceeded with e4. I mean, locking up the square, I mean, and keeping like his center strong. So maybe in future Ali can concentrate on this square. Maybe play f4, but it's still the early part of the game, so I don't think maybe f4 is recommended. So in this position, I was thinking maybe I could play b5. That was my intention, but I was thinking like, this weakness, how was I gonna deal with it? So I didn't have guts to play b5, but like, I should criticize myself, because the whole purpose of the rook b on b8 was to play b5. So I opted for c6. So I played c6. Then Ali, the clever move, I mean, here he played bishop e3. So you can see like, this is a very rich bishop. I mean, if really active. So it goes there, and now this bishop is threatening my rook on b8. So I was torn apart here. I mean, maybe I could simply continue with b5. I mean, because that was the plan. But sometimes in chess, I mean, like at our level, you do plan something, then maybe then you just change your mind and get diverted to something. But I think that is the weakest point, where like maybe it stops us being professionals. But I was looking in of another idea, maybe bishop e3. Maybe the whole idea, I should have maybe played c5. I mean, if I could have played maybe c5, then maybe b5. I mean, I think that would have relieved my problem of this position. So b5, if it goes a4, maybe I can bring this bishop and still eyeing for the b5 square. So I think this was a crucial point in the game where like I really got my strategy wrong. So I took on d5, and the question was, which pawn was he going to attack with? So it doesn't mean it's not really like wrong when like if he takes with the e on d5, but like I think he took with the right pawn. C takes d5, so this pawn, they've got solid formation. They are protected by the bishop. So, and the other thing, maybe he can bring his bishop to f1 later on and concentrate with all these weaknesses. So it was time for me to decide how do I like to go, how would I get into the game. But b5 now is like serious questioning because of this weakness. So the thing which really held me onto the game was the weakness. I was really worried about this weakness and this bishop dominating all those dark squares. So I thought, let me try to get counterplay. So I was thinking of moving my knight. So I was thinking like, can I put the knight on d7 or e8? I wasn't sure where to put the knight really, but the knight on d7, it looked like it was gonna block my bishop. So I went for knight e8 and added the interesting idea a4. So as you can see now, what I was talking about, Ali is aiming for this square b6. I mean, it's a really weak square. So I was considering maybe play b5, but after the exchange, this rook will get, I mean, big scope. I mean, controlling all this a file. So I think you get a good mileage. So I thought maybe let me continue with a5, the normal King's Indian theme. If you can play f5 when you can, you have to do it. I mean, to create scope for this rook. So maybe f5 will liberate this rook and end up maybe getting few squares there. So Ali went for a5, and it looked like the crimp was coming. So I went for knight f6, putting pressure on e4 square. So like what I'm trying to achieve at the moment is like to break down this pawn structure, and if I can break down this pawn structure, maybe my pawn formation here will be the key. So I went for bishop b6, and I played this quickly because I was thinking maybe if I put my queen on d7, maybe Ali might try something funny and put his bishop there. But I didn't look at this move seriously. I just played queen e8. Then I didn't realize that he's got to move like bishop c7. So there I was a little bit worried, like how am I gonna get into the game? But I played rook a8. Then he had interesting move, knight a4. So we can see like this knight wants to come onto b6, and maybe you can collect. I think one of my rooks. You can collect the rook and the bishop before coming, and this was a really critical position. So for this pawn going, this pawn is being, and this pawn might go. So it's really tricky for me. So I opted for knight e4. I mean, I'm getting an extra pawn the way it is. So Ali went for knight b6. Now it's after the rook. So I was thinking, well, what more can I do? So I played bishop d7, so that maybe I get a little bit of development. So this bishop can come on b5. Maybe put a little bit pressure in his light squares. So he went for f3. Went for f3. So I'm not sure, like if he had taken the rook and the queen will take, then bishop takes and f take, then maybe bishop d6. I think this variation looks like it's better for him, but Ali opted for something else. He went for f3, but my thought was like this knight wasn't part of his strategy, like to get the knight on e4 or to chase it away. I thought the whole point of playing all this move was to grab this rook, so I couldn't get it, like what was his strategy. So I was thinking like, okay, f3, I have to move my knight anyway, but well, sometimes it happens in a games where like players at our level, we do mix up ideas. So the game proceeded with knight f6. Then Ali took on d6. So another key move. But well, I thought like maybe taking on d6, it gave me a little bit room to try to rescue my rook. But Ali went for bishop c7. Then I went for b5. So as you can see now, I'm putting pressure on d5. So like, I mean, my position was cramped, so it looks a little bit like I'm free. I mean, I'm being threatened a rook exchanger, but like maybe I can get compensation for it. Before I couldn't get any compensation for it. So he went on knight c3. So like, what's it? aiming for this bishop, but like my thought was like he wanted to get this rook, so I was thinking like what is it stopping him from getting the rook? So I think at whole level sometimes, I mean, we choose a plan, then we abandon it. But I think like if your chess moves should be centered around your plan. I mean, that's my way of thinking. So when you play knight c3, so go for the bishop. Then I thought, well, let me try something there which was a little bit tricky. I mean, it's just me trying to get into the game really. So I played e4. I mean, it's a really sharp variation, e4. So I was just trying to get into the game. I mean, I thought this was my only chance. So he played. Now the bishop on c7 took my rook on d7. So I was thinking maybe I can take the bishop with the queen. Then you can grab on b5, and I mean the position looks comfortable for him. So I thought like let me try something else. So I took on f3. So now on f3. So now I'm threatening this bishop on g2, and maybe my bishop on g7 will get scoped. So I think that was my savior. Really, it really saved the game. So Ali went for f3. So then I take, I mean, knight on d5. I mean, check. So by the looks of it, I mean, I've bounced back into the game. So I mean, like most of my colleagues, they were coming around. They saw like the position was cramped. So like when they reached this position, they couldn't understand how I got there. They would say like, "Oh, we feel your game was lost. How did you get there? Or is it like magic?" But like it was just simple principle. I kept concentrating on my plan and playing the game. So like so the king's is checked. So I'm not sure where can the king go here, but I'm pretty sure the king can't come on f2. So Ali played a good move. Knight blocks the check. So maybe by the look of it, I was thinking maybe can I grab the bishop? But this move looked like out of interest to me, because I mean this bishop on d8 is really worthless. So I paused for a little while and thought like what more can I play? Can I take there? So it was sometimes you get some critical position. So I was thinking maybe can I put the knight on d3? But it wasn't clear if I put the knight on d3, but knight d3 maybe knight d3, then knight d3, maybe then knight takes g2 or knight check there, but it's not clear. So it looked like it was going to be very complex considering this bishop is still free. So I opted for a nice move. I mean, knight c3. So you can see knight c3 now is putting pressure on his e2 knight. So, and if it takes on c3, it's easy checkmate. So it was like a forcing move really. So knight c4 only move. Then I played knight e2. I wasn't sure what to play there. But I think the difficulty which I ran into the game was I still with this bishop on d8. So like my plans, I have to take care of this knight, consider this knight, and consider this bishop. that maybe it can flee away or do some, maybe take on f6. So it's the position is really complicated at the moment. So it's one of those positions where like you have to make sure that what you're doing, and like I was thinking maybe the knight can come on d6. So it's just a lot of variation that I'm worried about. So maybe bishop c3 will be interesting, but like it will make the position really complex. Was like I say, I've got this to take care of, this to take care of, and the knight. So maybe I'm looking at around like 20 variations where I should go deep. And I mean, it was just a game where like each player had 1 hour allowance. So I wasn't happy going for this variation. I mean, knight takes e2. So the queen takes e2, and I quickly take on d8, maybe hoping that I might trap him. But Ali may brought his rook into the center, probably because of the scope of this bishop. So it's got limited choice. So I went on c7, eyeing this pawn, and the rook on e8. Ali went for queen check, e6, then king h8, then queen d6. So it looks like Ali is prepared now to exchange, because I've got a couple of weakness there. I've still got this pawn's weakness, and maybe if he goes to the end game, it's clear winning for him. So I thought in the meantime, maybe a check might help, since his king is on the center. So a check, then he went this king on f2. So I'm happy that he didn't castle. Maybe combining maybe tricks like knight g4, knight e4, maybe I might get him. So I play queen f7. Queen f7, maybe I can grab here, maybe now or later on. Then I played king g1. So after king g1, I mean, my position looks really static. I mean, the only piece which I can move forward is the knight going there or there. But I was thinking maybe I could work on a plan where like I get the check here, maybe the knight there, and the queen here. But that plan couldn't work. So I went for knight e4. So he grabs with the bishop, then queen f4. So as we can see again, Ali is by all means trying to exchange the pieces. So maybe because it's an exchange up, maybe he can win the endgame. But I wasn't sure whether can he win the endgame. But like what I didn't like about this position was this knight was queen f4. He played queen 4, and this knight can come here like forking the queen, rook, and the bishop. So I played bishop takes c4, then he takes the pawn, then queen c4. So then he played king g2. So you can see now his rooks can come into play. So I spend a lot of time like thinking like how can I get the position going. So it was really hard for me. I mean, I was thinking maybe can I play this rook f8, maybe you could go there. So yeah, so rook f8, I think king goes there. But the problem that I had, I mean, hey, there was a back rank, so all the time I had to think of that. So I opted for went king g2, so I opted for bishop h6, hoping that if he grabs, definitely then there will be a checkmate coming. So Ali went for queen f6 check, and I had to ring the bishop. So when I saw this variation, I thought maybe Ali might come back with the queen there, and probably maybe the position would go for a draw.
Introduce myself, Your Majesty.
Maybe the position would go for a. Maybe the position would be drawn. But I had to bring the bishop back. But Ali went for b6, and I mean, like, he's eyeing this square, but like, I mean, I think like his worry at the moment is not supposed to be attack. I think it's supposed to be defense. So maybe the queen works out like it's putting pressure on my back rank and defending f2. So I can't simply walk into a check. The queen will be blocking, but I thought e3 would cut that queen communication with the rank. So Ali played rook e1. I mean, attacking the weak pawn. So like it reached a crucial position. So I did like queen e4. Then he went king h2. So the question was like, is this check good or a queen coming there? It wasn't clear to me what to play. I mean, and considering the time control, I just thought like queen c2. Then went on to king h1. So maybe I should have come with the bishop there on c3. But it's a very complicated position. Maybe the bishop c3, queen c7, queen a4, king g1, bishop takes e1, maybe king g8. But the position is really complicated. So I went for queen f2. Then Ali played rook f1. So I grabbed the pawn with a smile. Then he played rook de1, then queen h3, then king g1. So something was telling me like I've got a win in this position, but I wasn't sure because the problem that I've got, I still got this pawn which I need to protect, and this bishop can't come. I wanted this bishop to come there, and coming there, I thought like maybe his rook will come here and protect the rank. So like I wish I could have brought my rooks here, then maybe checkmate, but like because of the weak back rank. So I was thinking that I should work on a plan. Maybe put my queen here to defend the back rank and bring the rook. Then checkmate. So but I think I did a good, it looked like good plan, but maybe I could have won the game here. So I played queen g4, then king h1, so I played bishop d4. So now I can bring my bishop. So he played queen d6. Is aiming for a back rank check. So I played bishop e5 and he played rook f8. So what I calculated, I can't grab there, so I did queen g7. So I did rook f7. So I didn't calculate carefully. Maybe I should grab the rook, king f1, then king g7. So after this, play rook f7, king h6. So after this was probably what he's hoping for is a stalemate. So I think what happened in the game. I never thought like this position is got stalemate. Boza was pushing for the win, so I went with the king on h6, knowing that still firing is queen, and maybe sooner or very soon it will be checkmate. So you went on d7, I mean threatening exchange. So it was a tricky. So Boza was thinking like, well, he's got this square covered h7, so the games look tricky. But I went for this variation: queen h4, king g2, queen e1. So even like considering like if it does the checker for the hiding square here, so it did rook h7 check. Then I played king g5. Then he played queen f7. So I think I should. I played queen g3, but I was thinking like the simple move that I should go was queen check, then check and check, and if he grabs here, I can simply just play this move. So and clear winning. So what I did, I went for the queen g3 one. So king went on. The king went on h1. So I think Ali was left with around like 30 seconds and like 3 minutes. So so I just saw the move e2 and queen e8. No, I think queening on e1, then it's checkmate. But little that I know that there was this position transposed into a stalemate. So I think it's some of the things were like we experienced players sometimes we don't consider it. I mean, I was too excited that I'm beating Ali, but didn't concentrate that he could get something out of this position. So I think it's a thing that every player should look out when they're playing their game. I mean, treat it carefully. Look of all the possible threat. I mean, don't underestimate your opponent moves. So he played rook on h5. So I thought maybe it was a desperate move. Then I grabbed with queen g6, and it's a draw because it's gonna run into perpetual. So thank you everybody for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed the game. From me, Hope. Bye.